Today, we, the most prestigious film critique group in the Pacific Northwest, will explore Christopher Nolan's 2000 mystery thriller film Memento, in which the story of Leonard Shelby, who searches for his wife's killer, is recounted. And we will cover the three techniques of a nonlinear plot structure, an unreliable narrator, and symbols. So, if you were to rate this movie out of 5, what would you rate it and why?
Personally, I think I would rate it at probably around 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed the film. The nonlinear structure for the plot created a very suspenseful environment because you saw the movie going chronologically forward and simultaneously you saw it in reverse chronology. I think what bumps it down from that 5-star to a 4.5 star is some elements of the plot were underdeveloped and were not made clear throughout the film, such as the relationship between Dodd and Natalie, and how these different characters interacted with each other.
Yeah, I would rate it the same 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed the characterization of Leonard. Leonard was very dynamic, especially through the way that he interacted with several symbols throughout the text or throughout the movie. The Polaroids, the tattoos, as well as the way that he took notes as a form to replace his memory. It was all very interesting, and it helped develop the critique of conventional memory as well as its flaws.
I would also rate it 4.5 stars out of 5. I really liked how you can form your own interpretations of what happened in the film at the very end when you piece together all of the scenes. However, I do recognize that Christopher Nolan, his style for his films, you do really have to really dedicate multiple viewings into his films to fully understand the plot even at the beginning. And that goes the same with his other films such as Inception and Interstellar. And I feel like for some that may be a deterrent.
Yeah, like you said, that definitely was a bit of a deterrent for me, which is why I'll rate it 4 out of 5 stars. I thought there were a few elements of the plot that were, again, just underdeveloped. Overall, though, I thought that the whole plot structure, the non-chronological plot structure was very good. The non-linear narrative, again, was very interesting. It kept me engaged throughout the whole film. The use of color to kind of accentuate this non-linear plot structure, I thought was very clever and very unique. The way that color scenes were going backwards in time while the black and white scenes were playing forward and they were kind of intermixed. I overall thought that it was just a really great film, very well put together with all of the symbols and characters interconnecting. So yeah, it was really great.
I think another element that, similar to the idea of that use of color in black and white in the film, it just demonstrates Nolan's kind of brilliance with directing the film, because he incorporates clever symbols such as fire, where he burns or he has Lenny kind of burn memories of his wife, burn Polaroid photos that he's taken that represent permanence, and instead demonstrates how unreliable Lenny is as a narrator by demonstrating that it can be burned and essentially any sense of memory or recollection that he might have is gone.
I also thought it was very interesting that while the tattoos are meant to be reliable and while they're meant to be permanent, it was ironic that even though Leonard said that tattoos and note-taking is a much better form of recording than actual memory, the irony is that it ends up being an actually worse form of recording because he's able to trick himself by tattooing the wrong license plate on his leg, and also by having handwriting that is incorrect, writing down wrong notes, or burning the photos. These end up becoming as fallible as actual memory is itself.
Yeah, I would like to bring us to the question of purpose, and how does this what is the movie's purpose, and how does the symbolism and the use of this burning and the memory, recurring idea of memory, bring to the movie's purpose, and what is it?
Well, I'll take that one. I think one thing that's very interesting here is the question of morality and justice. The entire plot is developed around the idea of Lenny exacting revenge on his wife's rapist and murderer. And he takes this responsibility on himself. And the question that's laid out throughout this film is it the right or responsibility of any one individual to determine how to identify the culprit and also exact justice on the perpetrator?
Yeah, and I'm going to answer your question. I think that, it's not the right of or responsibility of one singular person. And I think that also prompts the question that is Lenny justified for his undertakings in this movie? Is it at all justified by any moral values?
And just sort of making a segue to a different idea, I enjoyed the question if he is justified, but I also want to sort of dissect that a little bit further, and I sort of want to ask, does it really matter? Because I think another big purpose for Christopher Nolan is to convey this idea that reality is not objective and it can change between individuals. Even when we were talking about the unreliable narrator, there's a big theme of deception within the film. However, this deception becomes reality for multiple characters, not even Lenny, despite his memory loss. So I wonder if it really is a large question from the film to ask if he is justified or not, since from his perspective, he is.
Well, thank you everyone for your perspectives today, and thank you for watching our film critique.